Hello Radiant One, and a very big and a very warm welcome to today's video. In today's video, I am going to touch upon a topic that that has become very apparent to me, and I'm actually not sure. I'm very curious to see what is going to come through, because parts of it may become a rant. I'm not really sure. I'm going to open myself up and allow for myself to let things flow. So I'm sure that you have heard, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, soul-driven entrepreneur, or even just not even none of those, but just an entrepreneur within the online marketing world. I am sure that you've heard the notion of charging what you're worth. And recently that has not sat well with me. That phrase had not sat well with me. Now, I'm sure that I am actually guilty of having said this at one point or another, even myself or in session or wherever. However, recently it's become apparent to me that it's off. Because it is. At least this is my truth. Again, I share my truth. This may not be your truth, and take what serves you and then leave the rest. However, the notion of charging what you're worth, when we know that we are quote unquote beyond this world, is actually ridiculous. It's trying to fit into a box or transform something into a box that is beyond. Your worth is not dependent on any pricing. Your worth is infinite. Your worth as a being, as a human being, as a soulful being in this world is really beyond this world. And so trying to quote unquote charge what you're worth is trying to, it's like putting trying to fit a peg into a square hole. Those two things simply don't go together, at least not for me anymore. It doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not against charging high prices. I'm not against being well paid at all. This is not what this is about. It is about I see it as a limiting belief that charging what you're worth. Because if you need to charge what you're worth, how do you then figure that out? How do you figure out what your worth is? And then you can spend enormous amounts of time trying to figure out your worth, trying to calculate, trying to do all these things in order to figure out what is my worth. And the truth is, you will quote unquote never know. Because, like I said, your worth is beyond this world. Not only that, if you decide, okay, my worth is this, like my worth is X amount of dollars or pounds or whatever currency you're working in, then your price or your worth then becomes dependent on a price. And so if you're not charging that, if you're not receiving that, then, it becomes a spiral. So, okay, so I'm not worth this price. And again, that's another limiting belief. Like, it just seems to be spiraling out of control. So if I'm not receiving this amount of money, then I don't have a worth, or I'm not worth anything really. And it's just, it's completely whack to me. And the reason why this has come up for me, I suppose, in the last couple of weeks has been because I've downloaded and am currently planning a 6-week healing journey called Mastery Through Love. And in order to assess whether this would be something that was valuable to you and other soul-driven, heart-based entrepreneurs, I have been interviewing people. I've been showing them the content, the format, and the copy, trying to assess, am I on point? Is there tweaks to be had? What needs to happen? And as I have shown people this or interviewed them about this, I've also told them the price that I've been guided to run, like the price I've been guided to charge for this first run through. And the reactions I've been getting was actually, and has actually been, my same reaction, because the price is ridiculously low for the value and for the amount of time and love and value that I'm pouring into it, which I understand. However, I have surrendered my life. I have chosen that that whenever I do this, I ask. I ask and then I receive, and so I know, and I know that the price for this first run through is ridiculously low. However, it's what I'm being called to price it at. And living authentically, that means, okay, well, this is the price that I'm supposed to do this at. Now, does that mean that my worth is dependent on that price? No. Does it mean that price is what this journey is going to be forever? No, not necessarily. I don't know. I'm really surrendering that and leaving that up to those, or to me, to my higher self, my divine self, who knows way more than I can ever figure out with my brain. So really, so that's why the notion, and I've sat with this, because there seems to be this notion charging what you're worth is also something that has to do with a high price. And my one-on-ones and my masterminds are charged at for what would for some be considered high price. I'm not questioning high prices. I'm not questioning being well paid. I'm only questioning the notion of charging what you're worth. I see it as a limiting belief, and I invite you to sit with whether or not this is a belief that's actually holding you back. So my whole purpose for this video is for you to inspire you or empower you to sit down and say, okay, is this holding me back from delivering services or products in the world because I have to charge what I'm worth? And either because I don't know my worth, I don't offer my services and my products, or I'm being told that I have to price it at a very high price point, and that scares the living shit out of me. And if that scares, quote unquote, the living shit out of you, maybe the most loving, kind, caring, compassionate thing you could do is price it at a lower price point, not forever, maybe just for a couple of times, and then raise the price. I don't know. It's just, I'm hoping that with this video you can see that that there is a difference between your pricing and your worth. And like I said, this has come up for me as I am preparing to launch my 6-week healing journey called Mastery Through Love. And this is for soul-driven, heart-based entrepreneurs who are wanting to bring love into the spaces of limiting belief, self-sabotage, really healing those or starting the healing journey of that. I'll be talking more about that in in coming weeks, and there'll be links on my website and so forth. However, the thing that I want to leave you with today is your price is not your worth is not dependent on your price, and I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you if this, like, what have you heard or seen through this video? Like, what discoveries have you made about yourself? What revelations have come up? What discoveries have you made? What has come up for you as you've sat with this? And also, tell me, where have you been charging, quote unquote, a higher price because you thought you were supposed to, and not really seeing the results or the gains that you would want it to? And I'd also love to hear from you as how you will be using what you just heard moving forward. And finally, I would love for you to share it with a friend, because I believe that this is supposed to go out to as many people as possible. Your worth is not dependent on your price. Thank you. I love you.